This is the screech owl box that I built. For the past 4 years, it was home to a very active, productive colony. Some people referred to them as my bees. In reality, they were a feral colony that I provided a home for. At first glance, this doesn't look like a beehive. It looks more like a nest box that you would build for an American kestrel or a screech owl to nest in. That's exactly why I built this. After mounting it far off the ground, up a palm tree, within a matter of days, a swarm of feral bees moved in. I decided to move it from the palm tree to this ficus tree down here. That was 4 years ago. In the past 4 years, I haven't lifted the lid. The bees were doing well, and then one day when I walked past here, they ghosted. They just totally disappeared.
So earlier this year, Gary came running in. He told me something happened. I don't see any bees. He was very upset. He said, I've got to go out there and inspect. So I ran down there with the camera as he checked it, and he found some ants starting to crawl around. But there wasn't a single bee that he could see in sight. Look at that. The hole has nothing there. That's the hole that they blocked off to their liking. Remember, it had a big hole. It had access for a parrot or for an owl or a kestrel to go in. So he looked around and he saw nothing going on except for the ants that were just starting to enter the box, because he watches that. He checks it every day. I mean, he walks by there. So the only thing he could do at this point was to just take it apart. Now, he has never taken this box apart since he put it there about 4 years ago. He climbed up a palm tree, oh yes, with that box full of bees in the middle of the night, and he carried it down, and long story short, this is where he mounted it. There's a whole video on that if you want to see it. Now, you and I here are peeking at the same time he is, and look at that. All those honeycombs built, everything built by the bees, because this box was completely empty. There was nothing in it when the bees took over. So in the 4 years, they built the entire box up. Now, Gary started this video, and he didn't finish it because he felt that we didn't have an answer. But you know what? We don't have answers for everything in life. There's so many things we'll just never know why did things happen. But we do have theories. We do have ideas. So look at that. The honey is dripping for whatever reason. It's just done. But if you look carefully, you'll see something that maybe we didn't expect. Oh yes, he tasted it, and he said it was good. Not only were there no bees, there were no dead bees. So the bees didn't get in trouble. Not one dead bee. Nothing. No live bee, no bee at all. Nothing in sight. I was a little reluctant to taste it, being that they left their honey behind when they left. It tasted all right, but no, yeah, it wasn't something I was going to eat because I don't know what happened. Now a bee had just come in. Now this isn't the bee from this hive. Now he was noticing that what's going to come in here is what's called robber bees. If he doesn't remove the box very quickly, it will be covered with bees, but they won't be taking over the box. They're going to just take the honey. And of course, the ants would do the same. So it was time to just take the box off and move it and take it apart. That's what he decided to do here. So he unmounted it. Can you imagine? 4 years hanging on that tree. Never peeked in, had no idea what was going on. He just let them do their thing. And up to the house, he was going to take it to see what was going on. And there it is, sitting in there with not a bee in sight. Most of the honeycombs were empty. So even their babies, once they hatched, the young ones, they all left. There were no eggs. There was nothing. No sight of any bee in there.
See how there's plenty of room, there's still cells.
You can see that here. It was just their honey. They left all the honey behind. So they didn't just move out. These bees decided to move. Like you're going to sell your house and put it up for sale? Well, they decided to move. So they fed on their honey, obviously. They hatched out whatever was in there to hatch. There wasn't anything in there. There wasn't any larvae to be found. There wasn't any eggs. This was well planned. And once everything was done and everybody was hatched, they moved that morning completely out. They didn't leave anybody behind. All they left was their honey. Now, is this a healthy hive? I personally don't know. I've never tended to bees. And this is Gary's first try at bees here too. So he didn't know. And the only thing he could do, I mean, the bees are gone. There's nothing we can do. He's not going to stand out there and yell and, hey, come back. Is take it apart, take the honey out, see what's there. See, everything's empty. It was like a moving day. They just moved out. We do have theories. We do have ideas. He did do a lot of phone calls. He did message. He did research, and there were really no answers. And that's kind of why he started this video, and then he thought, I don't have an answer. And do people want to watch a video without an answer? Well, sometimes there's just things in life that we'll never know the reason why. They didn't get poisoned or get sick. Nothing, because then there would be their young ones left behind. This was a planned move well in advance. People he asked didn't have an answer either. They sometimes do that. He was told, I thought maybe the hive was too old. No, they can live in there for 10 years, and these bees had only been there 4. So while he takes this apart, what do you think? Feel free to leave a comment on what you think could have happened, or anything you want. Write what you want underneath. Would love to hear your thoughts. They had plenty of food. We have a lot of flowers, and they had water. They had everything we thought here. Here is one of the theories we've been thinking about. He moved this box there over 4 years ago when the bees came in. He took them off the palm tree that was up in the air in the sun, and he moved it underneath the tree. Now, keep in mind, trees don't stay the same, and we don't trim our trees. Not that one. It was a big ficus tree. The tree was getting bigger, full of leaves and beautiful. Hummingbirds nest in that tree and everything. Maybe the tree started to create too much shade. They weren't in the sun, so they weren't too hot and decided to move. That wasn't an issue. Maybe it was too shady. Maybe it was too cool. I mean, I have felt the temperatures and the weather change. Look at the amount of honey he had there. All that was just full of honey. You saw it dripping when he was lifting it out. This is over 15 pounds of honeycomb and honey. Maybe the weather changed. In other words, the climate, the microclimate for them, maybe it wasn't to their liking, and maybe they decided they needed to go someplace else. And maybe they just decided that was the cork they made for the hole. Look at that bee coming in to take the honey, because the honey was good. See, these are bees now finding the box after he opened it. Like, they can use the honey. We'll take it with us. And he did put some honey out, by the way, for some other bees to come. He didn't think it was them, but, we don't know. Maybe the microclimate wasn't right for them anymore. I mean, they didn't split off like a lot of bees do. They left. But what he ended up doing is he emptied the box out. He did leave some honey in there, and he hung it back on the tree in hopes that maybe another swarm of bees would find the box and set up housekeeping there like the first ones did. But the only bees that did come back during this time were bees that were coming in there to just look around and see what honey they can remove. The bulk of the honey you saw was frozen. Gary packed it in plastic bags, and he does have it in the freezer. And that's basically it. So give us your thoughts. The hive sat there for a while under the tree, but he had no takers anymore. So he's going to do something else. Just a few bees coming in to remove whatever honey they could find. So we've decided to go ahead and post this and let you know we don't know. But if you've got theories, be sure to leave some comments, write anything, and tell us what you think. So with that, have a wonderful day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Poor Gary. Bye-bye.